this week is going to feel a little confusing, or if you have gate 64, confusion is probably something you're not unfamiliar with. But if we're willing to sit through the confusion and the chaos, we're able to get to more clarity. In this week, we are going to talk all about gate 64 as it is our sun gate transit, as well as a gate 64 overview to be able to ground us in what's actually happening with this energy. And if you're somebody who has gate 64 like me, understanding how this impacts you more personally. My name is Brenna. I'm a human design reader and entrepreneur of 9.5 years, teaching you all about the aspects of human design and astrology and how you can make more sense for you as an individual. We're going to start off by taking a look at Chetan Parkin's vocabulary for Gate 64 in Human Design. I'm going to read from one of his books and his excerpts to be able to ground us in this energy. He's a projector. I'm a manifesting generator. I like to give my projectors credit where credit is due, and you guys have a way with words if you are a projector watching this. So he specifically calls Gate 64 the gate of confusion, the gate of diverse possibilities. So as with all the gates within the crown, which is where this energy sits, Gate 64 illuminates our crown, or similar to kind of like our crown chakra, if you're familiar. This brings the pressure to examine life, and you will find yourself poring over these countless constellations of diverse possibilities. It's like looking into the night sky, reaching for a star, taking it in your hand, dissecting it, and attempting to find profound meaning. You'll take anything apart and turn everything inside out to grasp its significance or value. This gate dwells in possibility, pondering all potentials and what ifs in search of advancement. So you can find yourself trapped in a constant quest to examine everything: religions, histories, philosophies, belief systems, and previously recorded truths or scriptures, seeking a breakthrough or a new understanding. Some people with this gate can become overwhelmed by life's possibilities, been there, and forever working out what is relevant to them and whether further exploration is required. Your inquisitiveness is endlessly inquiring. Remember that life is a mystery you'll never solve, so don't tie yourself in knots grappling with the conundrums you've set yourself. Acknowledge your mental pressure, cast off from the shore of expected certainty, and move into the currents of the unknown and unknowable. For it is there that you will find yourself and discover the meaning of the wondrous journey of life. What I love about this gate placement is that it really teaches us that as much as we know and as much as we answer, for every question we answer, there's 10 unanswered questions. I also find that if you are somebody with this gate placement, or going to capitalize in the energy of this week, it's like really being entertained by not feeling like you have to know the unknowable, knowing when to have and indulge in mystery. There's also another gate, Gate 61, which we'll get to, Capricorn season, known as the Gate of Mystery, that sits next to this in the crown in the Human Design BodyGraph. But this is a Virgo placement that really is helping us to lean into communicating and entertaining and discussing the possibilities. It's like a professor that's sitting on the desk and talking about the syllabus at the beginning of the year. So really being able to lean into that energy is super important. Specifically, if you have a Virgo placement between 11 and 17 degrees, you're going to notice this in your Human Design BodyGraph. It's going to be highlighted somewhere in your chart. Each of the gates in Human Design are broken down into specific profile lines numbered 1 through 6. We also have in our own Human Design BodyGraph gates numbered 1 through 6. It'll be 40.1, 64.1, so on and so forth. And so if you are looking at your Human Design BodyGraph and wondering if you have these placements, you're going to see a number 64 with one of the 6 decimals after it. Now, for our transits, because everything exists as a transit as well, all of the astrological placements and signs and planets, Virgo, the sun is transiting through gate 64 of Virgo through 11 to 17 degrees. You're going to notice this as well. Gate 64 in the first line, or line 1, is the first day of this transit, followed all the way through the 6th day of this transit. Sometimes they cycle through really quickly, just based on other components of our cosmology, if you will, or constellations. And so you'll notice that in the captions that I put down below. So without further ado, let's get into the transits for every day of the next 6 days, as well as a Gate 64 deep dive. So if you have Gate 64 in the first line or on the first day of this transit, this is known as the line of conditions. And the little note that I wrote here is that when we're living in alignment with this gate, we can struggle in focusing on the point or value add. So it's like this introduction to this Virgo energy on the first day where we're like, oh my God, I feel like there's so many things swirling and I want to make sure that I'm getting all the information. Virgo ruled by Mercury, but not being able to refine your messaging is where you can lose people. That's where we lean more so into the detrimented aspect, where it's impulsive action of I've cracked the code but forgot a step, where you're like, oh, I'm rushing to be able to get this thing done. And like maybe I'm rushing to bake the cake. Oh my God, I was supposed to add 3 eggs instead of just 2. And that kind of changes the way that the cake is baked after. It may not hit exactly like you want it to hit. It's still a cake. It's still adding more information, but maybe there's a way that we can just refine the process a little bit sooner. If you're a 94 baby like me, your Chiron, your Virgo Chiron could be in this placement. My chart generator, there's a free link in the show notes below, will show you your Chiron and your Black Moon Lilith. Not every Human Design BodyGraph chart generator will, but I've noticed that with some of my fellow Virgo Chirons 94 babies, where if you have it in gate 64, it's really noticing that like, oh, okay, we have like certain wounds around perfectionism, and it's because that we know that we can set that bar for ourselves, and when we allow ourselves to find the balance of articulating what we need to articulate, being specific about the condition, just referencing my notes here, and knowing that when we slow down, we're able to not miss important steps. It's super important for getting our point across, being able to use this gate in the brightest and best way possible. On the second day of this transit, or if you have gate 64 in the second line, this is known as the line of qualifications. And today, or if you're somebody with this placement, you want to be focusing on, am I packing the essentials? Like, what is it that I absolutely must know and absolutely need? Also helps if you have motivation, need motivation in your Human Design Body Graph, but you don't want to let yourself to overwhelm your brain and burn out your mind and your processing, your mental processing, your crown and your ajna, your logical mind, your third eye and your crown. Really asking yourself today, what is it that I need right now? Everything else is just an added bonus, is going to be so incredibly helpful. This pours in very easily to gate 64 in the third line, which is known as the line of overextension. So it's making sure that you're not piling too much on your plate today and doing a trial and error with starting some new habit or routine. Knowing when to ask for help, assessing who is qualified to solve your problem, looking on YouTube, Googling, searching for information to give you a solution to a problem you have is going to be super helpful for today. And also to teach you that being confused is just a temporary state. And oftentimes your frustration, your anger, your bitterness, whatever you're feeling in your not self theme is able to be solved on the other side of just learning more information about wherever you feel stuck. On the fourth day of this transit, or gate 64 in the fourth line, is known as the line of conviction. And this is where we want to slow down and think of kind of the studious energy of being in a library, writing a paper over the course of time, where you're kind of allowing yourself to work through an ongoing problem. It's chipping away at a goal that you have, a problem that you want to solve, and not overwhelming yourself by being impatient and thinking that all of these things had to happen or be solved yesterday. You'll be spinning your wheels like a college student who's trying to cram for a 7-week course or a test on a 7-week course in like 30 minutes or less. Can people do it if you have a defined root center or certain aspects of your body graph? Of course, but generally speaking, we want to be making sure that we're using this energy wisely and really taking it with a grain of salt for how it affects us more, and whether it's trying to derail us or trying to put us back on the right path. Gate 64 in the fifth line, it's in its exalted placement, is known as the line of promise. And this is where we have like our Virgo bestie BFF, as I have many since I'm a Pisces, Virgo energy, and I get along in a lot of ways when it's in the good energy of it. But when we're allowing ourselves to really see how can we make promises to others that we can keep, and how can we work through problems with people where we know that it's us against the problem versus us against each other. In the detrimented aspect of this, and what you want to look out for today, is bonding with people just through the lens of negativity. It's kind of like two catty girls who will be only have a friendship because they're bonding over the fact that they have a hatred or a disinterest or a dislike for one other person for no good reason, no like founded effort, and really making sure that you're not playing into that catty behavior today, or if you have this placement. And last but not least, gate 64 in the sixth line, which is the last of all gates, as well as the last line of all of the 64 gate placements, which are connected to the hexagram and the I Ching, I should say, all the hexagrams in the I Ching, is the line of victory. And so knowing when to rest, there's a time to work and a time to rest. When you've been victorious, when you've solved a problem, where you can rest even if a problem has gone unsolved, is going to be super, super important for today, or if you have this placement. Know when enough is enough, and know when to not belabor a point or overshare or trauma dump or just over like communicate when it's not actually going to be helpful. Know that sometimes curating your words and saying few words is going to be much more effective in getting your point across and making sure that ultimately you are victorious. So just some ways to kind of tune into your energy more effectively, as well as the week ahead. Every year around the same time, during the first or second week more so of September, we're going to always experience a transit with these gate placements, or when we have any transits for any other planets in the Virgo constellation of Virgo, between 11 and 17 degrees. So if you have any other questions, you know where to find me. I'm also on all the socials doing energy of the day, the Human Design Way videos, just a little bite-sized piece for you to be able to palette the information. And then obviously I've been going through this gate series. So if you have any other gates or are interested, there is a whole playlist that I have that is linked or where this video is lying. So you could look up the other gate placements and do a little bit of a Human Human Design BodyGraph decoding. So a bunch of good links in the show notes for you guys. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week.